просто прививаю таким, как ты, чувство вкуса. Эй, я мусор, как тебе туса? Я просто прививаю таким, как ты, чувство вкуса. Эй, 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 как тебе туса? Я просто прививаю таким, как ты, чувство вкуса. Эй, 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 как тебе туса? Я просто прививаю таким, как ты, чувство вкуса.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Roze and Indy's Beginner and Brawl. We are finally here for our first, really should be streamed quarterfinals match of the week, Envox versus Zenoc. So it's going to be we're going to start to see some of these really close high seed matchups, 12 versus 17, so this should be pretty exciting. Let me just get this set up here real quick. So to summarize pick and rolls, pick and bans, Zenoc won the roll and will have first pick, which means Envox is banning first, they're banning hidden too. Alright, and now it's time for Zenox's ban. They're banning DT1. And now it's going to go to Zenoc for their first pick here. Yeah, playing Hidden 2 in this tournament is like... You're probably not gonna really get to play it most of the time. Zenoc is going to go with the Hidden 3 as their first pick. So this is the Convert Hidden. Lots of 1/4 stream patterns in this map. A few dashes here and there, so it's really going to test that ability to time your dashes with when it's necessary for the patterns. This is also over 3 minutes, so not a short map by any means. There's quite a lot of combo to be had in this map. Oh, Envox having a little trouble with the placement in this early part of the map. Very early miss, so... But that is going to be followed by another one, and it's going to be an early lead for Zenoc. Envox struggling a little bit here, Zenoc starting off on a good foot. It's going to open up with a good lead here. That being said, there's a lot of stream patterns in this map and a lot of combos, so even with these early misses for Envox, if they manage to find a rhythm here, they can still bank on misses from Zenoc to get back into this. But right now you can only depend on what Zenoc will give him, and Zenoc is not giving up anything so far, just missing a few droplets, but that's nothing when you're still holding on to that full combo. I'll lower the Osu volume a bit. Does that sound a bit better? We do see a miss come out from Zenoc, so it's not going to be a full combo here, but still very strong performance so far. Unfortunately for Envox, they just not really been able to find like themselves getting to that max 200 combo score cap. They've always been just managing this before, and that's just resulting in this widening lead here that's pretty much assuring a victory for Zenoc at this point, unless he completely melts down. Yeah, we're drawing into the last parts of this map, and this is a very solid pick for Zenoc. I mean, based on Envox's not really full confidence with it, and given their choice to ban Hidden 2 and Zenoc picking this, I think we're going to see a Hidden 1 pick from them come pretty soon. Really solid score from Zenoc on this. Yeah, well, chat wasn't loading up there for some reason. So, Envox is going to go for the No Mod 3, the Convert. Yeah. Obviously, with Hidden, maybe their ability to play Convert is not as quite as good as it would be with No Mod, which, I mean, this is definitely not the same type of map as the Hidden 3. That one focusing more on stream control. This one, well, consistency pick with a lot more focus on jumps, though there is a pretty spiky stream part. And let's get right into this. Sorry, I did it for a second, but we are seeing early misses from Zenoc, and Envox still holding on pretty early in the map, but it's going to start him off with a small lead that is going to grow now with that additional miss by Zenoc. Envox does break, so it's not going to really... It's going to just keep a small lead for him, still in Envox's favor, if no things change, but it's so small that any one miss is just going to start to swing things in one direction or the other. Oh, unfortunately, Zenoc just under-dashing some of those jumps, and it's going to start to give up a decent lead for Envox here, and now being able to afford a miss and still maintain the lead. Envox doing pretty well. We're gonna get into this stream spike quite soon. Oh, Envox does find a miss. It's going to narrow that gap a bit, though. It should still be a lead for him, but let's see how these players do at this upcoming street part. Zenoc finding a miss right before it. Here it is. Neither player really managing to hold on through that, though. It's still a good lead for Envox. Not still takeable by Zenoc, but he's going to have to hold on. That miss won't help. And another one, and it's starting to really nail that coffin in because time is starting to run out and that lead is growing. And I think that really is the final nail in the coffin. There's just not really a whole lot of map left. Overall, Envox just looking a lot more consistent through that convert and is going to take their own points, so it's going to even out this match 1-1. Now the question is, does Zenoc go for hidden one now, or do they save it for later and maybe try something else that they feel confident? Nope, they're going to go with the hidden one. Might as well take the points that you can and try to build yourself a solid. Also, I'm going to remove a point from Zenoc. I'm not sure why he chose him with 2. Yeah, sometimes like Blazer auto score just does weird things. This is the custom map from Sadu. Great map. Just a lot of good things to say about it, and I'm glad we can see it in match. And of course, the other 2 customs of the pool that can be picked, Hard Rock 2 and Easy 1, are not banned either, so just hope to see those as much as you can to see these great custom maps highlighted. So this is similar to AR as Round of 16, but it is quite a different map. Round of 16, what hidden was a low BPM stream map in a sense. This one is more so just about jumps and the timing, so it is definitely a different type of map, so interesting to see how these players do. The real thing about this map is that there's consecutive hyperdashes, which is a little bit advanced for this stage for beginners, so let's see if anyone can manage to hit those. Both players managing to hit that first set of consecutive hyperdashes and also missing quite at the same time, so no real lead here, but Envox does find a miss. Not responded to by Zenoc yet, so it is going to be a small lead for him, but the combo is not that big, so it's not going to be a significant lead. Another miss from Zenoc, from Envox I should say, but Zenoc does trade it, but that does put Zenoc in a good position here to at least stabilize this 20,000 score lead, and maybe start to try to build it with that additional miss by Envox. Does find a miss. Another miss by Zenoc, and I think that's going to start to even out the score lead here. There's not a lot of combo in this map. That is a miss by Envox, so it's still going to maintain the lead for Zenoc, but it's a very small lead. Gonna start a little bit here, but oh, and Envox unfortunately just kind of losing their footing here. Maybe try to get back into rhythm, but that is going to start to build a good lead here for Zenoc. Zenoc nailing that that consecutive hyper dash again, and is at that max combo. He's really found his rhythm, his composure in the last part of this map, and it's going to solidify this point for him. Few misses, but still a great score from Zenoc. A solid win for him, and it's going to give him a good start in this match. And now for Envox to respond. Envox has shown some pretty good DT skills, and there it is, DT2. So this is a little less similar to the DT2 from last week. The DT pool is a little different in the slots this week, so the speed kind of more streamy pick went into DT1 with the consistency. This one is more about like the control and like kind of a standard mechanical map. This is also a banger song. What we missed from Envox? A lot of map left, so not going to be too impactful yet, though. I've said that before for DT picks, and honestly, DT is one of those skill sets that some players can really get into, so sometimes it's like an early miss, and then the player manages to FC the rest of the map, so we'll just see how this goes. Both players settling in now, both over 200 combos, so just gonna be up to if Zenoc finds a miss at all. It's worth noting that Envox's miss was pretty early, like before the first 200 combo, whereas if Zenoc misses like in the middle here, or like before the last 200 combo, that miss is going to impact the score more, and it is going to lead to a lead for Envox in the end if he doesn't find a miss, but Envox actually finds a miss right before the break. Meanwhile, Zenoc is still holding on to the full combo. Another miss for Envox, and Zenoc is just not giving up anything. Very impressive so far from him. Can he close us out? We're getting into the last part of this map. Wow, and that is going to be an FC from Zenoc on the DT2. Envox finding a few misses, and it's going to be the first break point of this match going to Zenoc. We're going to go into something completely different here, a total tonal change from TT2, the easy one. The first specific easy in a while, last specific easy map was in round of 64. Lots of focus on the timing of these wide jumps, and also just really great custom from Ryuichi, aka Greyguard Mapper. I believe Envox did pretty well on the easy map in his last match, but this is a specific versus a convert, so we'll see how this affects him at all. Would not be surprised if Zenoc also just chose this because, say, Chinese New Year song, so.
His name's Dong Chang. He's got no plans, no money, unlucky, oh so sad. Too messy, get ready, put a bow in the bag. Don't care, it's an underwear. Stop bothering me, gonna go somewhere. New year in emotion, the same emotion. The well flow in like motion lotion. Don't care, for real, tell me how would you feel? Uncles are naughty, so nosy, no chill. It's really not for me, so please.
Early miss from Zenoc there. It's gonna give a small lead to Envox, though. Of course, as I usually always mention with easy, since the multiplier is half of the normal score multiplier, any lead that you see is actually bigger than, like, if you multiply the score by 2, that would basically be what the lead actually is. So this is actually about a 30,000 score lead. So you're not going back up to the max score combo, but as I say that, he does find another miss, and Envox has not missed yet. Now that lead is building. Another miss from Zenoc, and Envox is just looking very confident on this. He does find a miss though, and it's not going to be enough to really bring back the lead here, especially since Zenoc just missed. But how Zenoc found a few misses in the first half of the map, he's going to pretty much have to hold on for the rest of the map and see more misses from Envox. Another trade not going to favor Zenoc, especially finding a miss on that slow part. Maybe a little bit of a miss pick here though. Sometimes when you're playing a map in match versus practice, like with nerves, you just, especially since this is so reliant on timings and like reading properly to dash at the right time, it can definitely be affected by nerves, and I think that might be reflected in what's going on here with Zenoc. But Envox starting to find a few more misses, but looking really solid in the first half of this map, and it's going to have a comfortable lead here as they go into the last parts of this map. That is going to be a breakpoint for Envox, bringing it to 3-2, and not letting this match start to run away for Zenoc yet. I would not be surprised if maybe Envox just goes back into the Nomon there, just maybe going for what was one of his most consistent skill sets, and I think like in his previous match against NoHax just Taiwan, he also did really well in the Nomons there, so would not be surprised to see him go for that.
His name's Dong Chang. He's got no plans, no money, unlucky, oh so sad. Too messy, get ready, put a bow in the bag.
Yep, it's going to be the Nomad 2, the technical specific of this week. Lots of 1/4, even some 1/8 patterns in this one. Streams, some technical patterns. It's also AR 8.3, so also a little dense. Should be interesting to see how these players do. We're saying AR 8.3, keep in mind this is going off of easy 1, so this must seem pretty fast now in comparison. Early Mr. Zenoc, but there's a lot of combo in this map, and it's also over, I think, like 2 minutes and 30 seconds for the song, so It is not a short map by any means. Or at least not as short. He's already quickly back at that 200 max combo, but he does find a break, and meanwhile Envox has not slipped up yet. Going to be a solid early lead for Envox here, but we're not even halfway through the map yet, so there's still so much more to go. Zenoc finding another miss, and this is starting to build a very solid lead for Envox here. Oh, both players not really quite able to handle that like stream control section, and finding a miss. It is going to not really favor Zenoc in any manner, especially as he finds another miss. Envox does trade, but Zenoc really has to start holding on if he wants to take this map. Still room for comeback, especially in terms of the combo, but Zenoc cannot afford any more misses here as we go into the last parts of this map. Both players holding on, no one wanting to give up this chance, but unfortunately Zenoc is going to find that miss, and Envox is holding on. He's going to build up that lead and almost at this point really securing the point for himself. He did find a few misses, but still 99.80% accuracy and an assured victory here, tying up the match 3-3. Now it's going to go back to Zenoc here. There's no more hiddens left, so can't really dip down into there. So the question is, where does he go? Does he try to go for double time, kind of capitalizing off of that double time to win? Or who's going to be the first one to start going to hard rock? Zenoc is going to be the first one to start going to hard rock with the Hard Rock 3. This is a short map. The most important thing here is, are you going to hit the pretty much memory jumps, these wide jumps that happen a few times with the map that really require practice to make sure that you don't like forget about them and potentially slip up in match. Otherwise, the rest of the map is not too difficult, so just have to be full attention here and be prepared. And here we go. Of course, no one opting for the preference hidden. I don't think that's going to really happen. Both players finding an early miss, maybe starting to get adjusted to the hard rock with the higher AR. I think Envox found like one more miss, both of them tripping up in one of these first tougher jump sections, so this lead is basically dead even. Just very small advantage for Zenoc, but he does find a miss, so now Envox is going to have a little advantage here. This is not a long map by any means, and there's a section that we're kind of a free combo, so any miss is really impactful here. Oh, Envox getting caught out by that wider jump, Zenoc hitting it, and that's going to lead the shift lead back. The lighter jumps can be pretty tense in hard walk with like the increased AR and reaction time required. Multiplayer just holding on, and any mistake is going to be really critical here. Both players hitting one of those tougher jumps. And I think that's going to be it for Zenoc here. There's not really a whole lot of map left. And he's just been able to hold on through here and secure his own point. Oh, apparently Envox put his fingers on the wrong keys. Unfortunate. I've had cases where sometimes like I'll have my fingers on the wrong keys to start the map, so like the map starts and I'm like using the wrong keys for movement, and it just get too many misses at the start because of Envox is going to lead that up right with no mod 1. Envox, pretty good specific player. I mean, you're going off of a no mod 2 win earlier in the match, so this is a very expected pick, I would say. And here we go. This sort of map should be doable for both players. It's really just about the consistency and the nerves. And of course with this sort of map, it's like also like one of the more mechanically difficult maps of the pool. It is a rain, so could still see some slip-ups from some of the more complex patterns introduced here. Both players finding some act drops, but nothing substantial. It's really just going to come down here to whoever manages to miss first. That's going to be Envox here. Zenoc still holding on, maybe finding a few act drops here and there for missing droplets, but if you're holding onto the combo, that doesn't really matter if you miss some droplets. Oh, unfortunately finding a miss there, and it's going to start to make this a bit even here in terms of the score lead. Another miss from Zenoc, and that's actually going to favor Envox now. It's not going to be a huge lead by any means, though. Zenoc finding more misses now. I think maybe starting to lose their composure a little bit after finally getting a miss. Gonna have to hope to regain that and just, have that confidence. Like, they were holding on for a good portion of the first half, so just believe in yourself that you can continue holding on. Meanwhile, Envox is recovering quite well now. He's gonna start to build a solid lead for himself here now. Another more miss from Zenoc here. It's not going to favor him, and this is starting to be a very solid lead for Envox. It was looking a little shaky at first, but I mean, I would say it's shaky, but he just found an earlier miss from Zenoc, and then he does find a miss here now. I mean, it's not so big that if Zenoc holds on and Envox just like maybe starts to get a little shaky in the end, finding a few more misses, could go back, though the map is starting to come to an end here. You're not going to see any major miss-ups, and that's going to be Envox securing their own point here and bring this match right back to 4-4, and this is getting really close here. We're now basically the last picks for both players here, so for Zenoc, they're going to have to decide what they want to do to at least secure tiebreaker. I don't expect them to pick the no mod convert, so it's kind of between DT3 and DT4 and Hard Rock 2 and Hard Rock 1. So basically 2 Hard Rocks and 2 DTs, as well as a no mod 4. And he's going to go for the Hard Rock Precision. Another custom in this pool from Ryuji, Graveyard Mapper. This one pretty similar in many respects to the Hard Rock 2 from round of 16, but introducing a lot more hypers, especially at the end here, and also having a slightly higher circle size. So this is just basically a step up in difficulty from last week. Not to mention, I think the slider paths are a little bit trickier to completely catch here, so a little harder to fully act as well. And here we go into the Hard Rock 2 Precision. I believe Envox did not have a really bad performance on this last week against No Hacks, but No Hacks just had the FC, so it was not really easy to beat that score. But against Zenoc, let's see how this goes. I think Zenoc banking on the confidence of winning that Hard Rock 3 to just, have that confidence to win this as well and secure tiebreaker. Early accuracy drop for Envox, but what really matters here is the combo. This is a pretty low combo map, so misses are pretty impactful here. Especially the timing of the misses. If you get like an early miss versus like a miss like in the middle, that's going to be really significant in terms of the score. So if you're going to get a miss, you kind of want to get it now or at the end. Zenoc does find that miss here. But the question is Envox going to respond? Envox still holding on here. Oh, and Zenoc finding more and more misses. Maybe not quite being as apt for the Hard Rock 2 as they were expecting. This is also maybe a tough map to play under nerves with all the precision required. For Zenoc here, they can't really afford to miss many more times. They would have to hope for Envox to just really break down. So at this point, you pretty much have to hold on for the rest of the map. You're going to go into these hyper sections soon, the last third, so you have to be really on guard and try to really do the best you can to hold on here. Envox, low accuracy, but he's holding on, and that's all that matters for him right now. Another miss by Zenoc, and unfortunately that might start to seal the deal for this map here. Even if Envox finds a miss, he has done a lot of work here to prop up his score. Envox finally missing, but it's going to be really tough for Zenoc to come back from this position unless Envox just starts finding misses everywhere. There's just not a whole lot of combo left in this match. That's going to be traded miss, and that is going to seal it. It is going to be a break point for Envox, and that is also going to mean that Envox has the destiny of the last pick in their hands. They will get to decide what they want to pick to try to win this match in their favor. Given how every Nomad has gone so far, I would not be surprised to see Nomad 4. I don't know if they're going to want to think about Hard Rock 1 or the DTs. Also just going to point out a pretty good performance by Envox on there. 2 misses. Low accuracy, but still S rank, so not too bad. So would not be surprised to see a Nomad 4 here. Hard Rock 1, maybe. I don't know if they're going to try for the DT converts. They might not be feeling too confident on that after Zenoc's DT2 win. So I feel like it's either going to be between Nomad 4 or Hard Rock 1.
Since the last time that I saw your smile, what a perfect fit. The last piece have fallen into
And then there it is, Hard Rock 1. This is a solid difficulty, but it is an edit, and there's definitely a lot more hypers here compared to the Hard Rock 1 from last week, so we're starting to get more Hard Rock, more bladders here, and also more of a sense of that Hard Rock randomization movement. So let's see how these players do, and also this is the highest AR of the tournament of the match, of the map pool. I'm just fumbling through all my words here. I believe just being a little bit under AR 9.4. So, if you're hoping for a tiebreaker, you're just hoping Zenoc can find their confidence. I mean, they did win the Hard Rock 3, so definitely able to contest on this mod and, you know, see if they can take this breakpoint back and bring us to our first tiebreaker of the week. Unfortunate early miss for Zenoc there. It is an early miss, and also this is a longer map. There is more combo in this map compared to Hard Rock 2, so not as impactful, but going to be an early lead for Envox here. And that is going to be a miss from Envox. It's going to start to shift that lead back for Zenoc, especially with another miss. Besides that early miss from Zenoc, he's recovering quite well here and is going to start to build a lead. Not going to be anything significant though, but it is a lead, and that's going to help in his campaign to bring this to tiebreaker. Does break, so this score is basically going to even out. I think it's going to be a few thousand score lead for Envox here. Going to be very tight on the margins. Zenoc does find another miss though, and that's going to build a lead. Envox was looking a little shaky there. He does find a miss though. Zenoc did trade earlier, so it's going to lock in this 30,000 score lead. There's enough map left for that to be made up with. Zenoc needs to lock in now. He needs to hold on. But now we're starting to approach this last course of the map. Will they be able to bring this match to tiebreaker? They need one or two more misses from Envox here. There's the first miss from Envox. Is there going to be enough time for him to take the score lead back here? He's going to have to hit this ending with the hypers. Another miss. It's going to shift the lead back now. He needs to hold on here. He needs to just hit these jumps, and he's got it. He's got tiebreaker. Another miss from Envox. And he's taking it back right at the end. And here we go to our first tiebreaker of the round. What a great comeback from Zenoc right at the end there. And now we're going to go into this tiebreaker. It is a 3.9 star specific. We've seen Envox do really well in specifics here throughout the match, but this is going to be a true test of consistency and nerves. But there we go, finally on tiebreaker map. This is another custom, the first custom tiebreaker of the tournament by collab between Joy and Gemsu. Sounds like Zenoc did not have the map downloaded, did not think they were going to go to tiebreaker. Maybe should have anticipated that, but I mean, they're just going to have to hope their sight read abilities is going to be enough here. And I think as the goal looks to have fun's coming out, we're starting to get into the tiebreaker here. Just real quick here, it is AR 8.7. It is quite slightly lower AR than the no mod one of this round, so not going to be a huge step up in terms of AR, but it is definitely a more difficult map, so let's see how these players do.
僕だけが見てた君のこと過去も未来も悲しみも
I would also say, like, if you compare this to the tiebreaker from last round, the structure was a little bit more rigid and, like, symmetrical, like, cleaner. This one's a lot more varied with the jumps, so it's, you know, starting to be a lot more varied here and kind of trying to interpret those types of jumps. It is going to catch out Zenoc a little early here, but it is very early in this tiebreaker. And here we go into this first higher spacing jump section, and it's going to catch out Envox, and that's going to swing that lead back to Zenoc here as he continues holding on. Oh, Zenoc under dashing that, but Envox also finds a miss. It's just going to keep this pretty even right now. Very slight combo advantage for Envox, but this is not going to be a big score lead by any means. Another miss from Envox, and now that's narrowing that gap there. Both players hitting the stream. And now it is going to be a small score lead for Zenoc. Finding a miss on practically nothing though, and now it's going to bring that lead right back to Envox. Envox at that max 200 combo score cap now. Zenoc's getting there. It's very small lead. It's just going to be a lot of map left here to figure out who's going to be the winner of this match. Oh, and Envox breaks. Zenox's chance here to bring the lead back to his side. Nails the stream. Still holding on here through this second KI. As I say that though, unfortunately does find a miss, and it's gonna keep the narrow lead here for Envox in the meantime. Slight increase for Envox because of that additional miss from Zenoc. Honestly, I feel like this map is hard enough where it's like, it's gonna be hard to see players holding on for more than 200 combo. It's just that like mixture of nerves and like consistency. Both players hitting the back and forth stream. You can see that it's a small lead for Envox, but nothing guaranteed by any means. Both players know what they need to do here to secure their victory. Or at least for Zenoc, you know, he needs to rely on misses from Envox. Both players holding on still. Envox misses. It's going to start to shift it back to Zenoc. Is that going to be enough though? Oh, and Zenoc misses though. It's still going to be a lead for Envox here. Time is starting to run out. It's a traded miss, and I think that might just be it. There's not really a whole lot of map left. I think we're in the last spinner here now, and congratulations for Envox to just close out this tiebreak on a pretty narrow lead, but just enough to secure the victory and continue on to the conditional losers bracket match. As for Zenoc, they did very well, but it is the end of their time in this tournament. So, GG, well played to both players. Great first match that actually happened. That's why we should not just no-show our matches, guys. But thank you for watching, and I think we do have another match coming up in just about an hour and 4 minutes here.
僕だけが